So this week I decided I needed to do some major catch up on Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, I'm still in village rank. We have a new update coming out very soon at the end of April, so I had to book it. So I got on my Palamute, I went quick, started slaying some monsters, and then the worst thing happened.
Why is the ending so soon?
Pidgey hunts. Welcome back to another Monster Hunter Journal where I go through all of Monster Hunter Rise with a pledge to take down every single monster available, hunt them down specifically, and then I document my journey. If you're into that, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about almost the end of Village Rank, and I have to say, 10 hours rolling the credits, was not expecting that. My only impression of Monster Hunter is World, and it took me 50 hours before I hit the first set of credits on that. So to hit credits so quick on another Monster Hunter really caught me off guard. We're going to be talking a lot about Magnamalo today. Had my first fight with him, and it's just been such a bizarre experience to hit credits that quick on Monster Hunter. Now I understand that there are multiple credits, but still hitting credits that early threw me off. So this week I did something I have not done in a while in Monster Hunter Rise, or I have not done properly in Monster Hunter Rise, and that is I put off all hunting and we just went for a stroll. We explored this world, we took it in. I did a lot of fetch quests, which had me just going, what's over here? What happens if I go here? And of course, as I said last week, I discovered what great wirebugs are for. And so I went out and looked for places to do to set these great wirebugs. I've also taken the time to unlock a few additional camps, which is something I had not done prior. So now we're starting to pop up camps around the regions. And it was really fun. It was like a whole different game. I went to the swamp level with the pyramid, and some people were saying, oh, I wonder if you can find out the secret of the pyramid. I was like, oh, what's the secret of the pyramid? So I started climbing the pyramid, and I learned that my stamina can go for quite a while. So for like a good bit, like I was just running around the pyramid, trying to find entrances, seeing where I could get into. And I think that's kind of one of the fun bits of the wirebug outside of its use in combat, is the fact that you can go, what's over there? What happens if I do that? And when I made it to one part of the pyramid, I realized I needed a bomb barrel. Now I didn't have any on me, but now I know that, oh, next time I'm going to go there with bomb barrel, we're going to open this. What could possibly be behind this door? I'm really excited for that. So throughout this exploring, I picked up a lot more of these relics, which prior to this stream, I only had one relic, which I completely found by accident. And now I actually found in my notebook that all the relics are kind of laid out like an achievement. Now I know that's not what they're intended for, but that just gave me like, oh, I must collect all the relics. And I saw too the fact that it like tells a story, and there's 10, I've learned that there's 10 relics per map, and I think there's 60 in total. So I'm like, gotta catch them all, gotta get them all. I love collecting things, and it sounds like some of these are going to be really hard to find. Some people in the chat were saying some of these are just completely not obvious. But this is a whole new element that I'm just like, all right, I'm down for this. I'm going to have some fun just looking and trying to find these things. We, in terms of hunts, I did quite a few hunts, including 246. So we did 6 monsters this week. And like I said, I caught up a lot. So I cleared out, I think, village rank 3 quests. I think 1, 2, 3 are completely done. Maybe 4, I could be forgetting wrong. Sure, written that down. But we start with the great Wagi or Raggy. Oh my God, I didn't even write it right. I can't even read my own writing. Anyways, we'll call it the Raggy. Didn't care for it. It was really one of those monsters that falls into like the great Baggy, and there's so many monsters in that family that just feel all the same. They basically look like raptors with a big sickle, you know what I mean, scythe. That's what I was trying to say. Scythe on their tail. And I don't know why they needed so many monsters of that type in this game. So I almost died to it because I wasn't paying attention sometimes, and I was getting a little bit too aggressive. And I don't know if it's my armor setup that's not right. I have not been upgrading my armor like with spheres or anything. But all the monsters this week were doing a lot of damage for being low rank. And I'm like, each hit was taking maybe a quarter of my health or so, or like a 6. Like they were massive chunks. And I was like, I'm feel a little bit too squishy. So I think I might have to put a little bit of time into upgrading my armor properly. So really nothing of note there. We killed them. Oh, I took some of your feedback. Never say, hey, Jay doesn't listen. And I started trying to do more morphing combat style between the axe and the sword. I've been doing it in World and I've been doing it in Rise now. This was my first time doing it in Rise, where instead of just kind of like staying in axe mode and slamming one of the two buttons, I like try to go between, I try to dance between the sword and the axe. And a lot more times I had my axe charged with like the electrical buzz stuff, and that looked cool. And I could see a lot more damage and it's starting to flow more. I'm not where I want to be with it yet, but it's getting there. So I think I'm getting there. I'm not being hard-headed and saying axe mode is only for me. I'm trying. I'm actively trying. It's feeling all right, and I'm going to get to more of a actually using the switch part of the switch axe. Next up, we had Barioth. I was so excited for Barioth. He was a huge challenge for me in the world, and so to fight him in a village quest, I was like, what is this going to be like? What is a basically neutered Barioth going to be like? And for Rise, he was one of the more aggressive monsters. He almost made me cart, but it was, again, that familiarity that was great, but also the aggressiveness, but a little bit toned down where I could still feel like on edge that, oh man, this was such a beast. Like the first time I fought him was in Master Rank in World, and now here I am fighting him in Village Quest, and he's still making me sweat. So I'm just like, oh my God, how hard would this be in a Master Rank version of Rise? One can only imagine. Still terrifying monster, but beat him fairly easy. A, because I knew a little bit of his pattern, and B, because it was Village Quest. Next, I went after Somnicanth, which I think is my first Leviathan, I think is what you call them. Is that what they're called? Sea wyverns? Something. They're a special class, and there are none in World, and I forget what they're called. I think they're Leviathans. Anyways, Somnicanth had a very, very beautiful like design. I really liked the way that she moves. So a lot of things in this game, they either like, they either choo-choo like this, or they're mostly on two legs. This one like slithers, but then like goes up on two legs, sometimes goes on four legs. Like I felt it just had every mobility. Sometimes it's just like swimming on its back, and then you're just like hacking it, which I felt terrible for. Really cool how I think there was like a radius attack too that you had to jump, or as I learned later, you can interrupt her so that she cannot actually, I was not successful in the jump, so I'm not sure if you can actually jump the radius attack. Instead, I learned you have to go up and interrupt her so she can't even cast it. And that is stressful. Like when you see a monster getting ready to unleash an attack that you know is an AoE that's going to hurt you, you're like, well, let's hope I can do enough damage and stop her. Luckily I did, but man, like getting in there, that pressure, it's a lot. So Somnicanth was a fun monster, which I'm really surprised because she is more of a water-based monster, and I usually don't like water. And then I was surprised that Magnamalo shows up already. I was like, what? I'm not ready to fight this guy. He's like, I thought he was end game content. What are we doing fighting him so soon? So Magnamalo, I have to say, throughout Rise, the style to introduce the monster before the level, I don't know if that's the standard, but again, my experience is you go into a map and you find a monster, and that's when you get like kind of that intro cutscene. So I don't know what the standard is, but in Rise, up to this point, I was enjoying having like that little like backstory kind of like cutscene, and then you go into the map and you find it, because then you just kind of like, okay, this is what I'm fighting. The stage is set. Let's go find it. But in the case of Magnamalo, it's the only time where I was not satisfied with that format. And I'm thinking back to World when the big, like really intimidating beast, part of the thrill was that you either had a name to go on or a little cartoony like chibi picture in your notebook, and you're like, go hunt that, and you have no idea what it is. And you're looking around the map for it, not knowing what you're looking for, and you're finding like footprints and stuff. And then all of a sudden, cutscene, boom, you got the reveal of the monster, and you're just like, oh my God. And for Magnamalo being the flagship monster, I feel that would have worked better. But now we've already met him in Rampage. We've gotten the cutscene, and now it's just a matter of let's go on the map and let's find him. And then as you're like running, you're like, oh, there's the big chunky boy. And then you just start wailing on him. So the build up for the hunt is not as satisfying in Rise in that format for specifically the flagship monster. And, I'm thinking back to Nergigante, which was the flagship monster of World. The reveal of that, actually him, you knew what you were getting into, but still when you made it to the part where you had to fight him and he like breaks through the door and like the music and then he just roars at you, like you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. With Magnamalo, I went in with way more confidence and I'm just like, oh, this guy's gonna die so fast. And I went in with so much aggro and so nonchalanty. I carted twice and I was really starting to sweat. I did not think I was going to beat him. After the first cart is when I started going serious because my health just went shoop. And the second cart, my health went down even faster. So he was using, I wasn't paying attention to my health as much because I wasn't used to my health going down in chunks so big. Magnamalo hits hard and he has these all sorts of attacks that honestly, I still don't know his whole attack set because I was being too aggressive instead of being a little bit more cautious and seeing what he was doing. So in the third, on my last cart, I was really trying to keep my distance and trying to create openings. And it was just terrifying because I'm like, this guy is going to kill me. But I was getting so much into the rush of the new like switch axe mechanic that I was playing with. Just seeing like the damage counter was like, oh, more damage. And then he'd just be like, boom, like he'd be a bomb and I would just die, or he'd like jump on me because he's so fast. So the difficulty in this game has gone to the point where I can't take it as a joke anymore. Like up to this point, I think that's the problem. I've been going too much like swish swash. Everything can fall to my axe, no problem. We're getting into serious territory now. We're at the end of village quests. We're gonna be getting into like high rank soon. The monsters are starting to be like, smarten up, boy. And that I can't say enough for the next two fights. So the next one, of course, credits roll. I'm just like, what? And anyways, so we go back. Anjanath was my next one. I was so excited for Anjanath. I have a very special bond with this monster. So I go in again with the same kind of like confidence and cockiness because I know Anjanath. I have a lot of fun playing with him in the world. And here I'm like, let's do the same thing. But I don't know if it's because I'm more squishy. Probably because I'm more squishy. I don't think they've added really more moves. But I got close to a cart. I was like, okay, we got to take this seriously. I am not in world where my armor is like super high. I am still squishy. So be careful not to get hit and be a little bit more serious as a hunter. And I don't have my mantles, which is another thing I'm realizing. I don't have mantles to rely on, so I have to be a little bit more smart in my hunts. So Anjanath was fun. It was great to see him. It was great to fight him again. The next monster, and this is what I finished on, and I think this was way more of a noticeable, more of a standout fight than Magnamalo for me. It was Zinogre. Oh my god, was that thing hard. It started off so good, so easy, and then he charges up and he's all like Pikachu style and like throwing lightning bolts and thunderballs at me. And I carded twice and I was trying hard. I did not go into this fight cocky at all. I went in with my guard up and I still was getting carded. And on the last one, I'm like, I'm going to faint to this. This is going to be my first failed quest. And I don't even know I did. I was being extremely cautious after my second cart. And I was just keeping some distance, going in with a few like fights. And especially when he was charged up, I was being way more defensive there. But the best part is I was able to kill him with a boom. I love it when I can finish off a monster with a boom. So of course I did my elemental discharge, I think it's called, or zero sum discharge. And right when it booms and then the monster faints, it's like, chef's kiss. So those were the fights. I'm at the point where I'm not like, we're just kind of plowing through everything in Rise. I think the game is going to be challenging me from this point on because I was definitely challenged this past week. And now it's a matter of, okay, we got to get smart. We got to hunt smart and stop taking this as a joke. Few other notes from this past week. So we got Classy Jr., a new outfit. He's got the coolest like cowboy hat, glasses, a mustache. Now he's got a guitar. So like he's such a hippie sometimes. We're in a fight and then he can just be like playing his guitar and like planting a tree, and he's got his sunglasses with his like long mustache. This cat has gotten so much more charming all of a sudden. Like through Rise, he wasn't really standing out because I think the Palamute was overshadowing him. But now he's back. He's back in the band. He's back at the forefront of being the coolest cat. And I love this cat so much. Another thing that some people did not realize, so because I went through Village Quest only, and I was not doing hub quests, I unlocked something called the license quest or something. So if you only grind in Village and you don't touch hub, eventually you can do a license quest, which unlocks hub quests. And some of you know this, but I realize some of you did not know this if you were kind of leveling up the two types of quests at the same time. I think that's really cool because from what I understand, the guild hub quests are the same as the village quest, just a little harder. So the fact that you can progress through village and then kind of skip ahead in guild helps for progression. Note that I will still go and do everything in guild quests because I want the check marks and I just want everything complete. But for anyone who didn't know that, that's a very cool progression mechanic. That's very thoughtful of the Capcom team for doing that. So for next week, I think I'm going to be able to completely clear out village quests and we're going to be done. And now I'm going to be going into low rank and going into high rank just in time for the Apex Rathalos dropping with the new content update. So we're almost right on cue for the content update. I think I'm a little bit behind, but I'm good. I'm good where I am. So if you're into that, I'll be streaming that on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/AJOfficial. Be sure to join me then. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next Monster Hunter Journal. And until then, keep it classy.